Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the press conference of the European Conservatives and Reformist Group. Good to have you with us this morning, this Trafalgar Day in the UK. And with that, I will pass the floor to our co-chairs, Nicola Procaccini, but first, Patryk Jaki.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and good to see you. Good morning. So the most important part of this session, I think, is President Costa letter convening the European Leaders Summit. And the funny thing in this letter is that in the same paragraph of the letter, it says that the EU is over-regulated, which is true, and we read, I quote, "First, we need to step up our efforts to deliver on simplification." As we all know, it is all thanks to the Green Deal and Green Solution. And then we read, that's why we need more Green Solution. I quote, "Second, we need to have a strategic debate on how to achieve our climate objectives and at the same time strengthen Europe's competitiveness on the path to carbon neutrality in 2050. So this is more or less like saying we must defeat Russia and therefore we will pay it more for gas. And speaking of which, we strongly support the idea of banning Russian supplies to EU and the transferring frozen Russian resources to Ukraine. Instead of funds from our taxes, Ukraine will have enough for several years of war. And symbolic gestures are also important to defeat Putin's friends like Lukashenko. One of his persecuted victims, Andrzej Poczobut, is among the final three of the Sakharov Prize. I hope he wins this award. We strongly encourage group in European Parliament to do so. Andrzej Poczobut, the last 15 years of his life have been marked by the constant arrest and persecution for his social and journalistic activities. And now he is spending 8 years penalties in the penal colony. A proud Pole, Belarusian fighting against Lukashenko and Putin regime. And maybe the last thing, omnibus. This is a solution when we are fighting with our legislation as the EP, as the European Parliament, and the main difference between our idea to this, to the new omnibus solution and the majority from EPP and SD is a threshold of the companies which should report all this green madness. And the compromise is that it should be a compromise between S&D and the EPP is that it should be more than one, the companies which should be excluded for this obligation. It's the companies which have more than 1,000 employees. And our proposal is, first our proposal was the 10,000 employees, but the compromise proposal is the 1,750. And I think that this is a really good proposal to really build our competitiveness. So I will stop here. Thank you.
Nicola.
Thank you, Stephen. Let me add something related to what Patryk already said about the European Council. We are pleased to see that the European Council increasingly reflects our priorities, for example, the simplification. But here in this Parliament and also in the European Council, we would like to have consequence of this new approach. For example, we can start from the forest monitoring regulation. We believe this proposal would create unnecessary administrative and financial burdens without clear added value for nature, and this is exactly the simplification this is an example of the simplification we would like to have. So this is why we are against this free monitoring regulation, and we hope to have a majority in the Parliament against. Let me say something about the MFF. We share the concerns that some other groups have expressed about the Commission's proposal to merge CAP funding and cohesion funding into a joint envelope. You know, we think the rural world is something to conserve, to protect. The work of farmers is not only important for their markets, but also for the European nature, for the European cohesion. And so we are worried about this point. There are two more points to raise. One about the Italian journalist Ranucci. As you know, yesterday had one point to the agenda. We all voted in favor of these proposals that comes from the socialists, but it's very important for us to reject the attempt to link this criminal act, this intimidation act, to a journalist that we all know is against the government, but we reject the attempt to link the criminal act to the Italian government. There's absolutely no link, no way. It's important to stress this point because someone, especially the leader of Partito Democratico, you know, Elish Line, in a recent socialist congress, was not so clear. She said that more or less there's a link. Absolutely not, there isn't. The last point is about the debate we raised yesterday in the opening of plenary. About we started from what happened in France and you know in the Louvre Museum, but the debate was about the conservation, the preservation of the European artistic, cultural heritage, and really we were surprised to see that this proposal from ECR was rejected by the socialists, the leftists, and the EPP. Honestly, I was really surprised. In this plenary, we talk about everything as usual, even about the legal hour. Very important, okay, but I think that we can also speak about our cultural heritage, but not for everybody was the same, so they voted against, and this plenary we will not have this important debate, but we can be sure that we will raise again and again, because we strongly believe that our cultural heritage is really important, not only for us. That's all.
Thank you, Nicola. I'd like to open the questions now. Max, you go first.
Thank you, Max Guerra for Politico. I have two questions. One, there's already some debate on what will happen to the Parliament presidency in the second term. I was wondering whether you would like to have Roberta Metsola for a third term, whether you would support her. or whether you would support the socialists in nominating their own candidate. Then, on the other hand, I wanted to ask about the alleged Hungarian espionage on the EU and the Commission. There's Transparency International, there's the Greens asking for a committee of inquiry. I think yourselves, you're very familiar with the committees of inquiry because you had your own idea to have one. So I was wondering if you would, in this case, support this committee of inquiry. Thank you.
First question was Metsola. But we appreciate, we really appreciate how Metsola is managing the parliament. Now it's too early. We will vote in 1 hour, in 1 year and a half. So maybe now it's too early, but we voted, I don't know if all the delegations, but many delegations of the ECR group voted in favor of Roberta Metsola because she revealed to be very fair in the conduction of the parliament. So for now, that's all. About the Hungarian case, honestly, I don't know the details. Let me tell you that, yes, we are in favor of the inquiry committee. You are talking about the NGOs, green NGOs case, but there wasn't. This proposal, this ECR proposal was rejected and transformed in a different thing, a working group that is not exactly a committee inquiry. So, honestly, I think that the NGOs gate was really more important than this Hungarian case. For now, that's all. We will see more, we will read more about this case, and we will decide when we will have more details on that.
Who else has a question? Any questions? At the back there, please.
Oui, bonjour, Emmanuel Strasser pour Bruxelles 2. C'est bon? Une question relative à Gaza. Quel rôle vous envisagez-vous pour l'Union européenne dans le cadre de la stabilisation? Est-ce qu'elle doit participer et dégager des forces dans ce cadre-là? Et je voulais revenir aussi sur l'opinion de ECR. Vous estimez que l'UE devrait contribuer à un règlement durable et aider à stabiliser la région. Donc la question, c'est de savoir comment. Et vous ajoutez qu'aucun fonds européen ne doit être canalisé vers des organisations liées à l'extrémisme. Est-ce que ça veut dire que des subventions à l'UNRWA, pour vous, sont interdites?
Of course, the European Union should find its place to play a role in the whole important conflicts because we have aspiration to play high. However, we still has our conflict near to our borders on Ukraine, and I think that it should be our priority. Then, if you are talking about the using force, then what kind of force? If we are talking about the military force, I don't think that this is a good idea. But maybe Nicola has other opinion, but I don't think it is a good idea. But it's true that we should look into where exactly our financial support from our taxpayers are going in this area. And you are right that it shouldn't be to extremists from both sides.
I agree with Patryk. The Italian government already said that is in favor to a participation under the UN umbrella. But I think for now it's too early. Now the first point is disarm Hamas. Before this achievement, this goal, I don't think we can think about a presence, a physical presence of military forces from Arab states or European states. For now, I think it's really too early. But for sure, we support the deal, the peace deal. It's not easy, okay. It's precarious, but we believe it's the only light in the dark of the war of the last 2 years.
Any further questions? Anyone?
Max again.
Max.
Another question, it's perhaps very niche, but since no one else has a question, but I think, could you confirm that ECR challenged the CCC recommendation on the MFF referrals regarding the national plans because you want budget to be included? And what do you expect to happen tomorrow? Do you think budget will be included in the end or not? Since budget, of course, is chaired by ECR.
Mandate.
So which committees will deal with the files?
Yes, of course, we prefer the budget committee because the budget committee as a leading committee, because first there is a very good and objective leader of this committee, president of this committee, and secondly, I think it's better when we are talking about the numbers, not about ideology.
Magnus.
Thank you, Magnus with Euractiv. Also in a slightly niche topic, there is an INI report on enlargement being voted on. Is it today or is it tomorrow? And I just wanted to get the ECR take on that. Some of it speaks to what you've spoken of highly before, that EU is a geopolitical actor, but there's also some stuff in there that I imagine for a ECR MEP might be a bit too much. So what's the take?
Thank you for this question. I am a shadow rapporteur of this file. So in principle, we are in favor when it comes to enlargement of the EU. However, details are important. But I will give the ECR recommendation to vote against this file, not because of the enlargement idea, but because of the provisions which include in this file, and the provisions about the changing treaties and transfer all competence to the EU, even competence when it comes to foreign affairs, defense area. This is competence excluded to the states. It was always a red line for ECR. And we are thinking that this all centralization path, it's not good for the European Union. We see the results now. You saw that we are in this process since I can say 20 years, and where we are when it comes to results, we are losing our political, geopolitical, economical position. It's better to back to our roots. So this is our position.
Thank you, Patryk. We've reached our time limit. So thank you to you all for being here. Thank you to our technical colleagues, our press unit colleagues, and the interpreters too for their help. And of course, we're on hand throughout the week to answer your questions if you have any more. Thank you.
Before you leave, let me say thank you, Stephen, for your job. We really appreciated your work. This is the last press conference for you, but you will be with us even in the future in other roles, and for sure in our hearts. So thank you very much, Steve.
I would like to join to this. Many thanks.
And thank you for the